What did Hudson teach you?
Hudson taught us what is thrift, because I started in a very micro industry. Thrift, prudence in money management, and also the importance of marketing. These are three key things. And also the importance of brand building in marketing. Once when you have less money and you start the business with a low capital, you have to be very conscious about money spending.
Okay.
Any small wastage is not right. So we have to be thrift in managing the limited resources, or you can say stretching the limited resources to the maximum. So that is thrift management.
Okay.
Subsequently, without marketing, no product is going to succeed.
Yes.
And we are not into commodity marketing. We are into consumers marketing. In consumer marketing, branding of any product is the predominant, most important thing. Any customer likes to go for a brand which is known, reliable, and all that. So to build the brand with limited resources is the challenge. And we have to go through the process.
I have heard that are you a human computer, that your ability to max or make sense of the business with numbers is high. How did you develop that?
I cannot say that I'm a computer and all that. I think probably it's a little exaggeration.
Okay.
But the initial days, once the resources were limited, I used to maintain a policy. If I see a leaked pipe, I will close it wherever it is. If I am going out of my room, I will ensure my air conditioner is off, my lights are switched off. The reason why we do is probably the wasteful expenditure has to be eradicated. First, initially, it was a necessity. And any minor expenses could be derailing. So we started focusing on it. Later, probably, though we flourished, it became a habit. So for necessary things we spend, but unnecessary things, we like to be that way. So initially, the maths proved to me it is beneficial to run a small business. Later, the same maths proved to me if I don't have control of numbers, I also lose the control of the operation. One way probably to manage thrift, second, not to lose control of expenses. So we started understanding the number.
It's interesting when you said I lived with numbers. So the next question, sir. What is your leadership style?
Literally, once when I started, I was leading from the front. Gradually, I moved to the center because more and more people joined the organization. See, we are one company who has gone through a different process of moving from a tiny micro to a small industry, and then to medium, and then to big, and then large. So different management styles are required at different stages. So even once when we were small, we were heading it from, I was heading it from the front. So later, probably more and more people joined the organization. Earlier, the organization, what I was heading was a very simple operation where there was an accountant. Beyond that, there is no administrative staff or anything. So all the calls were taken by us, and by the end, probably we went with giving directions. Over a period when the size grows, more and more specialists join. Now it's a complicated operation, and trying to lead from the front, we may be ignorant in certain things and giving instructions, which may be damaging the organization. So it is better probably we hear them out and allow them to function. We started listening and delegating. Over a period. So if you ask me, today probably most of the work is done by our executives. And in their chosen profession, They are the specialists.
Mm-hmm.
When I started my business, I didn't know anything about milk procurement. Even today, I have a overall understanding of milk procurement, accounting, finance, everything. But that doesn't mean I'm a specialist in that particular field. More and more specialists have come. They have taken over the job. And we have to give a room for them to understand. They play a key role in the organization. Today, probably we have a highly delegated operation. And when I started, I was starting with about 3 people. Today, we have more than 10,000 people. Physically being present in everywhere is not possible. With 20 different factories, different locations, and the marketing operations at different places. That 10,000 people, I can't give direct instructions. It has become highly delegated operation.
This is beautiful when you said about we started listening. First you were giving instruction and then you started listening and then you hear them out and then you delegate it. Because I think that step is very important, to hear them and then to delegate, which is a learning for us. And when you said this, I get the image of a pack of wolf. The leader of the wolf is always in the behind, and there are other wolves watching, and it is watching from the behind to see the movements, and that's the image I got.
Not only that, see, there is a belief that probably people, just for the salary alone, they don't. American concern, which was making auto ancillaries in Detroit. Complete chaos was there. This was about 30 years back. Union didn't trust the management. Management didn't trust the workers. And once in 5 years, the agreement was made. The union demanded that they should be, on those days, there was no cell phone. The union demanded, probably they wanted to make occasional phone calls to their house. And they wanted telephone booths to be installed. The factory. They demanded 12 booths so that the worker can come and call the home for communicating something. So the management agreed and signed the document. 12 booths were installed. But they were not connected. When the union guys approached them, they said the agreement doesn't say that you have to connect the line. You wanted 12 booths. It's already there. This is as per agreement. Finally, the company went bankrupt. It was taken over by Japanese. And they said that these guys are going to have a very tough time, but they had a very smooth sailing. And later, one of the employees of the American company was interviewed. They asked him, how come that you people have been not comfortable with the earlier management, now you are willing to work? He said, those guys were paying for my hands. I was willing to give my head free. They didn't want to take it. These guys wanted my head. I'm giving it free. I'm happy with my hands. Means if you start listening, people also believe that probably their opinion is recognized. There is a saying, any employee who is coming for work, he doesn't work only for salary. Appreciation, participation, motivation, and self-improvement are the 4 key things that makes an employee feel he belongs here. We have got a lot of lifers who joined us at the age of 21, who was retired, and still running batches also. A lot of lifers we have, like Japanese management. We don't believe in hiring and firing and all that. We always believe a committed person with the proper training can be made an excellent professional. A professional, if he has got no commitment, you can't develop commitment in it.
Thank you, because this was leadership in action and sharing your ways. When is the right time to scale up a business? Because I see some entrepreneurs who are doing very well in one unit and then they scale up, and even the base unit they started also fails. So when is the right time to scale up a business?
It is the mindset of the entrepreneur, I can say. The markets may be dynamically changing. He must have seen the success with certain formula.
Mm.
He becomes a one-eyed Joe. He
Mm.
thinks probably this is a formula that works for eternity. It doesn't work.
Mm.
Also, there is a saying,
Mm.
entrepreneur is the asset at the beginning and
He's
liability at a later date if it doesn't change.
okay. Okay.
Once when the market is dynamically changing,
Mm.
there are three types of people who initiate change,
Mm.
who adopt change,
Mm.
refuse change.
Mm. Mm.
The guys who initiate change, they are even ahead of market.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Market may not need the goods,
Mm.
but if it is presented, the market will understand that there is a need,
Mm.
a potential market.
Mm.
And once that person becomes successful, other people will follow as also rank.
Mm.
I only maintain the pattern similar to the leader. But the change initiator will be ahead.
Mm.
But the change initiator has got different challenges.
Mm.
He has to take in a road that is not traveled.
Mm. Mm.
Not that 100% he will be successful.
Mm.
There will be one or two things that may fail.
Mm.
And we may have to readjust and do things. Or we may have to drop it and go to the
Mm. Mm.
other extended expansion or activity.
Mm.
Maybe if a person as a leader has been obsessive of having 100% cut with one factory, if he succeeds, or one activity he succeeds, he goes to the second activity. He is not able to depute the time, quality time that is required.
Mm.
He is a failure. And once when he wants to take all decisions without full information, it may go wrong.
Mm.
I have seen fathers
Mm.
not even delegating to sons. They get their sons educated.
Mm.
Son will do MCOM, that, this and all that. When he comes to business, he wants to introduce the WNP system.
Mm.
Father will say, no, probably this is the conventional practice, he goes. And they take the degree only for the marriage invitation purpose. Nothing beyond. What is that he has done for 5 years? What is that he learned? How he can implement? Things are not being done.
Mm.
It's a matter of understanding the market realities and market dynamics which are changing and adapting to the change.
Mm.
And not even adapting, I will say, initiating a change is even better.
Mm. So, as you said, when a person initiates, there will be hurdles because it's new, it's a path is new. So, when you have done that, what is that in you which keeps you or gives you the strength to keep going?
I was stuck in a business which had absolutely no prosperity.
Mm.
40,000 people similar to me were operating in India.
Mm.
Even today, the 39,999 people have not changed to anything.
Mm. Mm.
It was only for survival, not for prosperity. Ice candy business of our 1970.
Mm.
I felt that probably the prosperity is a must. Within this business, the
Mm.
prosperity was denying me for more than 8-10 years.
Mm.
Then I thought the only way to come out is differentiating from others.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
The differentiation made the difference.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. So the differentiation made a difference. That's a very significant sentence to hold on to. As you grew in your business, you might have also experienced failures. So, how do you manage?
The first failure is comparatively more disheartening.
Hmm.
The first failure, probably you also get scared whether it's not going to be finished or not.
Hmm.
But once when you come out with your ways and means, later you understand failure is a teacher.
Hmm.
And success, immediate success can spoil you.
Hmm.
Success can go to the head of the person.
Hmm.
We become arrogant and we don't learn.
Hmm.
At least failure is a great teacher where
Hmm.
you can learn
Hmm.
what to do, what and what not to do.
Hmm.
Once when you have seen one failure,
Hmm.
the second failure and third failure doesn't scare you much. It is
Hmm.
like jumping into the pool without knowing the swimming.
Hmm.
You drink water, you get scared whether you will sink.
Hmm.
over a period you try to learn swimming. Occasional taking of water doesn't scare. As a company, 5 times we were close to bankruptcy because of rapid expansion. Again, changing from tiny to small, small to medium, medium to big, big to large. Everywhere you have to have a change of adapting to the requirements. And once when you are trying to go, new challenges will come. From new the marketing, it will be different challenges. So to just get used to it is very, very difficult. But as I said, once when you have navigated the first failure, the second and third failure doesn't make you sleepless. And you only think that probably how you can find ways and means to get out.
Okay, this is an interesting experience for me to hear. That's you neared almost 5 times the line of bankruptcy, and then you picked it up.
But we have never failed in our commitment to anyone, even after trying times. Market cannot say that probably we have failed in their payment or dishonored the check, and the bank comes with saying that probably we have defaulted in payment. Something like that. Probably we borrow from one bank and settle the other bank. Something like that. Rotation was there in the initial. It's part of any entrepreneurial journey.
Because this is a very significant sentence you said, art of navigating through the failure. I think once the person gets a knack of it, I think then it is motivating to learn through that. And I think, as you said, failure also makes a person humble. So thanks for this. And we can also embrace failure with much ease after hearing to you. Thank you for this. Since Hudson is managed by you and your son, you're the chairman and he is the managing director. So there is an organizational role involved as well as a personal role involved. How you manage these roles?
Probably see, there is a functional role for him. There is a guiding role for him. So there is no clash of interests. We don't do the same work and give different instructions. So I have played the role of an organization as a player, as a captain, as a coach. Now I can just take the role of mentor. My role has changed. So I am not into day-to-day activities, going and nagging people. The job is left to the managing director and not for me. He does the day-to-day job. And always he is consulting me on how to proceed and I give the direction. But I am not a man on the field. There are not two forces leading the pack and giving two different instructions.
This is important when you said it's not a conflicting force, it's a complementing force. And you said you're in the guided structure and he's in the functional structure. So this is wonderful. And I think the shaping from a coach and then to a mentor, I think this shaping of different ways of functioning together has made a difference. How did you learn that? Because I see many family business struggling in this. As you said earlier also, their sons or daughters study and come to business, but they have conflicting position with their own founders or their parents. So how did you manage or learn to do this kind of a shaping?
If you have a better understanding of what business is, if you believe that the business has to outlast you, then you have a different discipline. There are a lot of people, they put themselves before the business as the founders. They want to enjoy the ego gratification of I am the founder and they have to be recognized. So these people put themselves before the organization. If they go with the thinking, how the organization will survive after me, then they will have a different approach to the organization. It depends on the understanding of the individual. I am insecure. I am trying to hold everything together. And I am not in a position to delegate to anybody. I wanted to make my prominence felt. In any decision, I have to be consulted. So these approaches will hamper the organization. With the demise of the individual, the organization will also start writing its obituary. So it is better the person understands that the organization has to outlast it. If you take today, European companies, they have got 350 years history or 400 years history. Japanese company, one company which is building Buddhist temples, have got a history of 1,000 years.
Oh.
When their male inheritance was not there, the girl is married to a family, and the son-in-law is adopted to the family, and even today they continue. Unfortunately, the Indian society is a highly ego-based society. The conflict of interest comes easily. And the organization interest takes a back seat once when there is a conflict of interest and ego clash comes. And finally, both the people they destroy.
I think this is a very significant learning. I think many family business have to know this. Otherwise, they build a beautiful empire, and by their own generation, it is lost. In our own eyes, I have seen many falls like that, and it's very sad to see that way.
Maybe one of the advantages, probably I don't have too many sons to fight teachers.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, could be. Yeah. Otherwise, maybe it's a metaphorically Mahabharata of two children can create a lot of other struggles also. When I was once hearing to in a German conference where they were talking about family business, at least three generation, particularly the offsprings of the generation believe that this company is going to come to me, but they are not told that they need to develop certain competence to take that role. And by the time they come inside, either they are not able to hold it, or the founder themselves don't give the opportunity for them because they have not developed the competence. So one side they feel entitled and not competent, and then this leads to a lot of struggle. So how do you see this perspective? This was a conference and I heard this.
No, this is uniformly there throughout the world. The incompetent person leading is the biggest disaster. This is something like an ignorant fool navigating the ship to the rock and crashing it. It can happen. So he has to be trained in the sense he should not be put on the wheel on the day one as a owner. It is better he works elsewhere and learn the culture of how the employee functions. And I have worked elsewhere and probably came, and my son worked elsewhere and came. So we understand how an employee will feel on an occasion. So we can be in their shoes to understand, number one. Number two, within the organization also, getting straight away into the post is not right. You have to go through different departments to understand. And get into the decision making. Till such time, it is better they don't take decisions. 3 or 4 years, different departments of the company. They work as an official. After working elsewhere, that orientation.
So what I understand from yours is there has to be a clear strategy of developing and bringing them into the business. So thank you for this. And since we spoke about strategy, how to make a successful strategy and what are the considerations to keep in mind while making a strategy?
See, whenever we are making a strategy, we have to understand the effects of the strategy in implementation. Sometimes probably the team may not feel the strategy is working. If you have a conviction, you have to just push it. I have done it twice or thrice in my life. So those decisions I had the conviction to do. And if you have conviction, it is better to push the team in that direction. See, when we introduced milk, all the people felt that the market leader who is giving toned milk, they should also give toned milk.
Toned milk, okay.
Toned milk is 3% fat and 8.5%. The market leader was charging 8 rupees. It's a cooperative. The cooperatives have got a backing of government. When they lose money, they can still pride saying, we are into service. We are not profiteers. So the loss making is glorified as private or for profits and we are for service. But that was the standard product that was available. So our team was for introducing toned. That too 50 paise less than.
Mm.
The guy who was selling told milk from the cooperative is still not making money. And if
Mm.
I'm going to charge 50 paise less, I'll still be losing money.
Mm.
So I insisted on saying that we will go for a differentiated product.
Mm.
We'll go for 4.5% fat,
Mm.
standardized,
Mm.
and we will charge 1 rupee more because our input cost is higher.
Mm.
They said it's suicide. It will not work.
Mm.
So against the established market leader for 30 years,
Mm.
pricing it higher than
Mm.
people will not understand it. Not.
Mm. Mm.
But literally, argument went on for 3.5 hours.
Mm.
I listened to everything.
Mm.
Finally, I said we are going only with 4.5 and not with 3%.
Mm.
But after hearing this, I will give another concession. You
Mm.
people wanted to sell it at 7.5 rupees. Even with higher input, you go to 7.5
Mm.
to interview. 3 months it will hold.
Mm.
After 3 months, it will go to 8.5. 8.5 more than the market rate.
Mm.
In 6 months, you have to go to that 9.
Mm.
We went with it.
Mm.
We made it.
Mm. Okay.
But for this particular strategy, we
Mm.
would have never tried. Probably
Mm.
today we are the largest private dairy in the country.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I can say the cooperative where they were fearing that is the only model to follow.
Mm.
We are sizably bigger than the cooperative.
Mm. So this is very interesting. So when you said a strategy, and then there can be challenges while execution, but the team sometimes may be also having the conviction. Certain times they may have doubts because they may want to follow the common crowd. But if you have the conviction inside and have foresight, it's also important to push the team to go ahead and support them to make this happen. And I think so. I was always thinking strategy is about something which we are making outside. Now I also see the inner conviction, which is a very important factor in making a strategy success.
This is something like this. I force the strategy on.
Mm.
But when they are not convinced, it is not their baby.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
They can always come with a later excuse saying, sir, we told you on that day, you didn't hear.
Mm.
Probably the market is not responding. See,
Mm.
these type of problems were also there. If
Mm.
you are going to forcibly
Mm.
infuse that
Mm.
this is strategy.
Mm.
So I wanted them to have a conviction of themselves more
Mm.
than my conviction.
Mm. Mm.
Once when they start thinking
Mm.
that probably this will not work with a
Mm.
negative mindset if they are going into the field,
Mm.
that negative mindset will not get results.
Mm.
And then they will come back saying, sir, probably it didn't work. Strategy failed.
Mm.
To get a reinforcement. There was
Mm.
a management guru called All Rise in US.
Mm.
He has written a book on branding, marketing welfare, and warfare and all that.
Mm.
He is talking about why the product should be different from the market. I wrote a mail to him saying that probably I want you to come and address our meeting. At that
Mm.
time, the company was also very small.
Mm.
It was doing about 20 crores or 25
Mm.
crores. The gentleman never bothered to reply. I
Mm.
sent the second mail. He
Mm.
didn't reply. I sent the third mail saying that I am coming to US for a different work and I prefer to meet you in person and probably discuss my issue.
Mm.
Immediately within 3 hours, he replied,
Mm.
you are most welcome. Probably Atlanta, I will make a reservation
Mm.
on that day. And you go from the airport to the room and I will pick you up at that
Mm.
particular time.
Mm.
And I came into the room and probably took bath and all that. Probably the gentleman came. He is about 8 years. Then we went to his office. Then he said, Chandramogan, I'm sorry I didn't reply your first
Mm.
2 days. I was not serious about this inquiry because my fees is too high.
Mm.
An Indian entrepreneur will not be able to pay the fee.
Mm.
And it was just an inquiry. Once you showed the seriousness,
Mm.
come here. I thought of just informing you, this was my reservation. I asked him, what is the fee? $30,000 per day.
Oh, and those days, okay, it's huge. Okay. Mm-hmm.
The exchange rate was also less.
Mm-hmm.
$30,000 per day. And also a plane fare, business class for me and my daughter to come to India and
Mm-hmm.
stay.
Mm-hmm.
He negotiated, finalized. They gave.
Mm.
He gave the slogan of 4.5.
Mm.
And
Mm.
we went with our advertisement campaign, Arjuna Maya, the teaser campaign, and then. So, when our team, I felt that probably they were not fully convinced with what I am saying. I felt it is better I get a reinforcement of them
Mm.
to
Mm.
get fully satisfied so that they lose the conviction in the field. That
Mm.
the ammunition what they have is far more enough to penetrate the market.
Mm. Mm.
I got the reinforcement from Mr. All Rice
Mm.
and an American management guru of repute, world repute, coming
Mm.
and spending one day with them
Mm.
and telling them that this is the right direction. Team
Mm.
started believing in themselves.
Mm.
Probably just going to implement my instructions. They may not be fully involved.
Yeah.
Once when they were convinced, it
Mm.
became their baby,
Mm.
self-scale.
Mm. So I think that initial space of holding on to the conviction and the modeling that you going after the conviction and ensuring that they are also understanding and making it their conviction. I think once that part is done, I think then the snowball effect starts happening. And I think that space is a very testing time to hold on to the conviction because it's yours, not tested yet, but it has to be bought in. So it's I think that's the strength of the entrepreneur to stay with it for a while. Thank you for this very inspiring experience for us. You also have started an Hudson's Sports Academy. So, what is your interest in sports? What was the inspiration? Can you share something about that?
See, India is a vast country with about 1.3 billion population,
Mm,
but our record on sports is very weak.
mm, mm,
In my school days, I was playing cricket, but
mm,
I was hopping from one school to the other.
mm,
In my school, my teacher said, probably you have every chance of becoming representing India
mm.
in cricket.
Oh, mm,
But probably there was no consistency. I changed the other school never played cricket.
mm,
Left. I played badminton for about 35 years.
mm,
I was the veteran champion in doubles with a friend of mine.
mm, mm,
Felt at least in one sport, why not we make a world impact? So our intention is to prepare a
mm,
world champ from our academy. This is not to the district, state, nation, is to win the world.
mm,
So right now, within 3 years, we have been able to produce a national junior badminton champion from our
mm,
academy.
mm,
The last 35 years, nobody has done it in Tamil Nadu. Now
mm,
we have to progressively go to national or
mm,
international
mm.
gradually, and we are working.
So there is a space and resources provide for people who, or children who want to develop themselves into this sports.
That's right.
I really admire um, your ability to uh, not take in too much of glories. Like, for example, when I said, "Are you a human computer?" or when I said about a multi-facet, you said, "No, no, not those things." So you seem to be clear about not taking certain titles. I really admire this. How do you have this um, knowledge or wisdom to not to get into all this? So I would like to. I'm curious to hear that.
Once when you start accepting what
Hmm,
you are not,
hmm,
over a period you start getting a liking to it. And
hmm.
over a period, probably you will be surrounded by SP.
Okay.
And again, you start craving for recognition. And you
Uh,
are not happy with what you receive, and you wanted a further growth.
hmm,
Actually, it distracts a person from its first
hmm,
goal or life.
hmm,
So I prefer to have friends who can point out my mistakes and
hmm,
they feel what you are doing is not right. I prefer to have a company of those people, though
hmm,
limited they are,
hmm,
instead of
hmm,
having a big company
hmm,
of people who
hmm.
always say Jindabad to everything. I prefer to have that type of company.
Hmm.
It's a personal choice.
Yes, and it's a very important choice. And I think you are very sensitive to it. That was very interesting for me. So thank you for modeling that. Now, if you turn back at life and see your journey, what is most satisfying for you?
More than a personal success, I will say we have touched the lives of many people,
Mm, mm,
employees, more than 4 lakh farmers.
mm, mm,
Not only employees of 10,000 people,
mm,
we have agents who are selling milk. We have
mm,
got transporters who are engaged in transportation.
mm.
So indirectly, directly, we employ 45,000 people.
45,000 people. Okay. Mm, mm,
The 3,500 outlets of
mm,
our group,
mm,
where we have a franchise. We have got employees.
mm,
And we are running about 4,000 vehicles
mm,
for which we are paying rent and all that.
mm,
So all put together, we have about 45,000 directly or indirectly employed people.
mm.
So almost we are a team of 5 lakhs people. At 4 lakhs farmers, we are fortunate that our business has given a win-win situation
Mm,
for a host of people, more
mm,
than one successful individual.
mm.
This is the most gratifying thing in the journey,
Yeah.
more than personal wealth, or I don't get excited with a Rolex watch. So
Mm.
this excites me.
It's actually very moving to hear this also. So many people's life touched.